Hey, everybody, welcome to the show tonight. You have Mike and, of course, the beautiful Firecracker, my wife, here with us. Our special co host, Bagger Bader, is here, and we have a special guest tonight. This is Stevie, and Stevie is in the Kansas City area, and Bagger knows her and has known her for a while and done some riding and stuff with her. So he thought it'd be cool to have her on, and he's going to introduce her to everybody, and we're just going to hang out and chit chat a little bit and stuff, and do something a little different tonight.
Yeah, so this is Stevie Smith. I've known you for probably 8 years ish.
Maybe a little less than that. It's been a while though.
Yeah.
Long enough to know me.
Yeah, and I think I met you through a mutual gal pal, and she said that, I have a friend that loves to ride or likes to be, have rides on the back of bikes. And so I think I met you at one of our little biker bars outside of town in Linwood, I think. Does that sound right?
Good old taillights. R.I.P. taillights. Yep.
I know. It closed up. It's a shame. I think Mike, April, you guys have been there on a poker run, but it closed up, unfortunately. But me and Mike have always said that, women that ride motorcycles is just so cool. It's sexy and cool. And so we've always wanted to have somebody on the channel that we could visit with and that April could communicate with, since it's not so much fun listening to two guys talk about cams and, front ends and whatnots. So if you want, just kind of maybe tell us a little bit about what excites you about motorcycling and
all of it. No. So I kind of grew up around motorcycles. My dad's been heavily involved in motorcycles since before I can remember. I mean, there's pictures of me as a baby sitting on the bike right on the tank at like 2 years old. He had a Triumph. He had lots of bikes his whole life. So I've grown up around him. I've always been a backseat passenger. I would like beg my brother, take me on a ride. I'd beg my dad, take me on a ride. And in 2020, I left a very abusive marriage and traded in a drunk alcoholic husband for a motorcycle. It doesn't come home drunk and angry. So best decision I ever made. And I thought, you know what? I'm tired of like relying on somebody else to take me somewhere. I want to be in charge. So let's go. So I started, I took the class and I think it was August 2020. And I have never looked back since. And it's just been full throttle since then. So.
Yeah, I remember the time that I met you. You hopped on the back of the bike, and I took you over to the next town over about 10 miles away, and the whole time you're just loving it, And I remember you saying, I got to get my own. You could tell you wanted that freedom, you wanted your independence to be able to do it yourself, and you did it all right.
And it's been the best decision I ever made.
So when you took the course,
my third bike.
Great. When you took the course, did you take it through like a dealership or a university or?
Yeah, I took it through Rawhide. That's just where I signed up for it, and it was great. I will tell you the funny thing that I always tell people is like when I took the course, I expected to be like running into random mattresses, like falling off in the middle of the highway more than I do now, because they were like, "You're gonna come across mattresses in the highway." I've never come across that yet, but I'm prepared in case I do. But no, I took the course and it was really good because I had never. So I'd always been on the back. I did ride like little mini bikes as a kid. But there wasn't any shifting. It was just like full throttle. And of course I would like jump hills and I knocked air out of myself and was like wearing the color of the bike on my shirt. That was fun. But I never knew, like, I didn't know how to shift. I didn't know any of that, the throttle zone, none of that. So it was all new to me. And it's kind of funny, like looking back, when I took the test, there was the last part we have to kind of weave in and out of the cones. They had to do it like 12 times. I could not pass it. And I was like, this is not for me. I'm wrong. I can't do this. I'm like, no, come on. And they literally let me try it 12 times until I finally passed. And I was like, what the hell did I get myself into? I can't do this. But it was about the bike. Like I wasn't comfortable with the bike. And so when I was on my own motorcycle, I was like, oh, this is totally different. And now like I ride probably like an idiot sometimes. It's fine. But
And Rawhide, Mike, is the local Harley Davidson dealership, and they do
Yeah.
have a class there. So
Yeah.
Well, Firecracker, when we got together, she was riding passenger, and she wanted to learn to ride her own, and she wanted me to teach her, and I'm like, I've been riding way too long to teach anybody because I'm sure I have bad habits. I will help you, but I want you to take the class. And we're part of a motorcycle rights organization, and they're not doing classes right now, but they were for a while, like even having one or two women only classes a year because they found
Oh,
that
nice.
women enjoyed taking the class with other women. They didn't feel as intimidated having a bunch of guys there, stuff like that. Of course, my wife, when she took the class, took it with guys, and she took it with some guy that already had his license, and they still gave her the like a little award for getting the best score on the written part and the best score on the driving part. So she scored better on the
Nice.
riding portion than the guy that already had his license. I think I hurt his feelings.
That's awesome. I did not. I scored at the bottom. Listen, I wasn't intimidated to be with guys. I'm like, let's go. Like, that doesn't bother me at all. I'm like, well, fine. But no, I scored at the very bottom. I mean, I think they passed me out of like, we feel sorry for you. Just go. But now to look back, like 5 years later, how different it is and how confident of a rider I am now. Like, I was talking to my buddy John a couple weeks ago, and he's like, dude, you're the best female rider I know. And I was like, oh, thank you. And he's like, you're one of the best riders I know. And I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. So, like, to know where I came from of like taking 12 times to pass the stupid little test of weaving in all the cones to being complimented like that, like it's really cool. It's an honor. So I was kind of excited about that.
now, also, I was wanting to touch on the fact that you mentioned already that you have had several bikes. Do you feel like your advancement with your abilities and the bikes that you chose, did that play a role in you getting more confident and getting you to the level that you're at?
Oh, 100%. So when I first started out, I got a Boulevard because I was like, okay, it's cheap. Like, I can start out on it, and just in case I don't like it, I'm not in it a lot of money. Like, I didn't want to start out with a bike payment or anything like that. And so I think the bike was like $2,500. It was nothing. And I was like, yeah, okay, this is what I want. So then I upgraded. I had a Fat Boy, but I kind of made it like my own. So I made it into like a baby road glide. I don't know if you remember that bike, Steve. But I
Yeah.
had bags on the back. I had touring bags from a road glide. And then it's called Wedge Fairing. It's a company out of, I think he was in Minnesota. And it looks like a baby glide, like it looks like a road glide fairing. And I put that on there. It had speakers, and I got more comfortable. And I was like, all right, this is my bike. And then my brother and my sister-in-law and I did a trip out to the Tail of Dragon, and I was like, well, this doesn't have cruise control, and I'm not trying to hold my throttle for thousands of miles. So then I upgraded to what I have now, which is a Lowrider ST. And this will be my bike for a while. Like, I'm good. I've got it. I just have more. It's always one thing or another that you want to upgrade on it, right? But I have a lot of upgrades to it, and I've put a lot of money and time and thought and all that into it. And so this is my forever bike for now, but I love this thing. But yeah, it did, like, I would have never been able to handle this bike now because it's a 117, and then I've got the cam upgraded and all the things. Like, it would have been way too powerful for me when I first started. There'd have been no way. I would have killed myself.
You also mentioned that you have a brother that rides, and
I
um,
do.
he, in a positive way, I'm going to say that he's an aggressive rider. He
Hmm.
enjoys being aggressive, and he has the skills to ride that way. And so,
Yeah.
is it just in the blood, or what the hell's going on over there? Because the two of you are
You
like
know,
twins.
yeah. I really do think it is in the blood. Like, I genuinely think, listen, as much as my brother and I, we go like this sometimes, and we're very competitive. So we compete against each other. But at the end of the day, we love each other. Even when we are not speaking to each other, we have each other blocked, whatever, and unblocked. And it's just what you do with your brother, right? It's a love hate, more love than anything. But I will give him credit where credit is due. He really truly, like, I had to ride to keep up with him. So there was no like easing me into it, riding slow, riding gentle, because like you said, he is a very aggressive rider. And so I had to like sink or swim. And so I kept up. I'm like, I'm competitive. I'm not going to lose to my brother. Let's go, So I do give him credit for that. And he has a little KCV twin, performance twin little group that he has here in Kansas City. And he's really good. He's been riding forever. And I trust him and I trust his lead, and we ride really, really well together. We have the exact same riding style, so we can ride right next to each other and like know each other's next moves and just, shoop, 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 flow across the country. And it's amazing. So I love that I get to share that with him, because my dad rides, but him and I aren't that close. So I don't really ride with my hopefully someday that changes, but my brother and I are very close, and so I love being able to get out. And my sister-in-law rides too. His wife, she started, although she was just in a motorcycle accident this week. Thank God she's okay, but she's going to be off her bike for a while. But it's really nice just to like literally just have a family event, and we can go out and ride and just enjoy it and go on vacations together and travel the country. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Like we had a really big trip last year that was amazing. So
I saw your brother this weekend, and we talked about the roundabout accident. So I was at East Meets West, so I recognized him from when we came up to the Speedway rally last year and stuff, and so we talked for a few minutes, and he told me all about the roundabout incident and stuff, and someone that's local said that roundabout has the most accidents of any place in Joplin. It's a really bad roundabout situation.
Yeah, and I was so sad that I missed that rally, but I checked out. So I was on a mission to hit all 50 states. So I checked off my 50th state this weekend. I went to North Dakota. So I missed the rally. I was so bummed, but I was like, oh, I was so sad when Lindsay got this. They called me and I was like, oh my God, and my heart sunk. Because, you hear a motorcycle accident, but thankfully she's okay.
Oh no, we lost her.
But hopefully the connection will come back here.
Wow. She's sitting out in front of a very popular pub in Kansas City, Kansas, called Johnny's on 7th. So hopefully the service comes back quickly. Hey!
I have full bars. I don't know what happened. I'm literally in the middle of the city. I'm like, I have full bars. I don't know what happened. But anyways, go figure, technology. But no, so it was luckily they were going very slow, and them stupid roundabouts. Ugh, whoever invented those are the same people that made pantyhose. They're just stupid. So I'm glad she's okay. But anyways, it's amazing to be able to ride with my brother and my sister-in-law and just have like a family affair. So I love it.
I know, and
my
I mean,
grandma too.
Yeah, I mean, you can just see the passion and all three of you just really share a passion that the other three of us also enjoy, and it just dawned on me that
I put my 82-year-old grandma on the back of my bike too, and she loves it. And it's so funny. The first day she went on a long ride with me, she got off and she hit me. She's like, "Oh, I get it now," and I'm like, "Yes." I'm like, "Get it, grandma."
Another thing that's funny is so Stevie goes on all these trips with her grandma all over the country. And so what am I famous for? I always chime in and I'll tell her like, well, there's a cool biker bar or some biker landmark that's somewhere. And the next thing I know, she's there, posting it on Facebook.
Absolutely. Like I went out to California for a business trip and I rented a motorcycle out there because I was like, I have to ride the PCH or PC1 or whatever it's called. And he's like, you got to go to Cook's Corner. I went to Cook's Corner. It was freaking awesome. I got a sweatshirt from there and then stickers and all kinds of things. I was like, I always look to Bates for like, okay, buddy, this is where I'm going to be. Where am I going to go? He's got all the cool spots.
Hey, you may have done something that none of us have done. In California, you were able to lane split. Do you want to share anything about your lane splitting adventures?
Yes. Okay. So, oh my God, the first time I did it, I was so nervous. I'm like, and I'm not a nervous rider. I'm a very confident rider. I'm like, let's go. But I'm like, dude, we don't do this here. Like some people do, but I hadn't yet. Now I do. Sorry. But I was like, all right, let's just go. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're used to it. Let's just go. And so I'm like on this little highway on the, like, here's the sunset or the, the ocean and all that. And I'm like, okay, balls to the wall. And I just like went straight through and I was like, the whole way. It was pretty scary at first. And then I got real confident. And I was like, in and out, probably, little too confident, but it was fun. I'm like, dude, this needs to be legal everywhere. I don't want to wait in lines anymore. I want to be first of the line. Let's go. So now I'll lane split, no problem. But it was really, really nerve wracking at first. But yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
Did the
Yeah, breaking.
cars
I see some.
do a good job of like moving over and leaving a spot for bikes?
You know, they really did. I was kind of surprised. Like I said, they're used to it in California. And on the highways, they have like signs that are like, hey, watch out for motorcycles, lane splitting. So it's like, it's a thing there. And I remember there was one part on the highway, like kind of right when I had first started to do it, there was a guy and I just kind of followed his lead. I was like, okay, well, he lives here. I'm just going to do what he does. And so I did. And yeah, I think they do. I mean, obviously you can have some times where people aren't paying attention and you got to be careful, but you just constantly have your head on a swivel and just go. Like, you know, it's a risk you take. Like I was willing to take the risk, but it was exhilarating. It was fun. My mom and grandma were not happy, but I had a blast.
So Chase said, I kind of wonder how that would work around here with a bunch of big bikes and big trucks. And I think the problem
Yeah.
in Missouri is that people don't think they're not. I mean, it's been legal in California for a while. So
Yeah.
drivers have
Yeah.
like learned that it makes traffic better there, and
Yes.
traffic is a lot worse there. I could see Kansas City and St. Louis making it possibly legal because of the traffic there, but like where I live, there's no reason for it. And the problem is also, like, for example, Joplin, where we were just at East Meets West. I heard from some locals that came out to the event that they have a large problem with people riding dirt bikes and sport bikes on the street that are not legal, lane splitting and wheeling and stuff. And that's when people start doing that, then people resent bikers, and then they don't want to listen
It ruins it.
anything. Yeah, they don't want to believe that maybe this would be better.
Yeah, it ruins it for everybody, and I can see that. So, like here in Kansas City, I mean, obviously it's not legal, but I will say, like when there's like long lines of construction, I'm not sitting through all that with my bike idling and swamp ass going on in 110 degree. I'm not doing it. So I'll either go on the shoulder or in between. Sorry. But it's like I'm smart about it, and I look and I'm like I got, again, my head's on a swivel, but I only do it for the most part, like when I have to. Like I don't make a regular habit of it because it's just not a thing that drivers here are used to, So I'm not going to put myself in a position where I'm going to be smattered on a street like a pancake.
Yeah, I saw a reel.
Like my life.
I saw a reel this week where a sport bike rider passed another biker on the right, on the shoulder, on a 2-lane mountainy road. He passed this bike. He was all the way out of the lane on the shoulder, come around this bike, and he was going to take it over a car next on the shoulder. And as he got close, he realized there was a guardrail coming up and there was less shoulder. And the car actually, probably, whether it was intentional or not, they were moving closer to the outside of the lane. He had to slam on the brakes, hit the guardrail, went flying over the side of the mountain, kind of thing. That's the thing. It's got, I mean, I've never experienced it. I'm not going to say yay, nay, whatever. I do think in Missouri, Kansas City and St. Louis are our best use case scenarios for why it should be legal. Springfield recently passed a city ordinance saying it is illegal because Missouri doesn't specifically have a law against it, but they have a law that says you can't share the lane with another vehicle except for a motorcycle. So you can ride side by side on a motorcycle legally. 2 motorcycles can share a lane, but you can't share a lane with a car. So unless you can ride exactly on that white line and convince a cop you're not sharing a lane with someone, that it's technically illegal, but there's no law that specifically says it's illegal. So Springfield, Missouri,
challenge accepted. No, I'm kidding.
Springfield, Missouri recently, like just in the last couple of months, passed a law against it because they're having such a problem with riders in the city doing stuff like that. And riders are dying. I mean, cars are hitting them. People are dying. So.
Oh, man. I think I just read an article, like the 10th person died yesterday in like a matter of 30 or 60 days. And that one was no fault of his. A door off a semi truck hit him and he like imploded in fire. It was a terrible ordeal. But yeah, no, motorcyclists are dying in multitudes every day, and it's sad. Like it's riders err, but then, I mean, there is some responsibility to cars too. I do think more and more deaths that you see are more people riding under the influence, riding stupid. Like, we always, as riders, we want to blame the cagers, damn cagers and the four-wheelers, but like, some of the issues have been their own fault, and we have to take responsibility for that and own up to, just riding unsafe and riding stupid and riding under the influence and all that. And it's like, it's sad that they died, but dude, whose fault is that? You got to be smart. You got to be smart.
Yeah, I mean, that played a part in me shutting it down 4 years ago. There was definitely nights where the last thing I should have been on was a motorcycle, and it does give me. I mean, I feel great that I don't have to worry about that going forward, because I just made that decision that enough was enough. But
yeah,
it came. You know what? Hey, something that just dawned on me. April, you basically have a lowrider ST as well now. So what's the deal with you girls and lowrider STs?
Speakers, baby.
See, okay, I was like the first or one of the first to have a lowrider ST in Kansas City. So like, my bike doesn't have speakers, and now they come with it, and I'm like, no.
Well,
mine's not a lowrider ST. Mine's a Sport Glide, and we got the ST fairing. So,
but they don't. Most of them don't actually come with the fairings. The dealers are putting them on and then tacking that onto the price. But if you have a lowrider ST, you can buy it from Harley. MSRP is $1,150. Don't ask me how I know, since someone just got them. But if you haven't heard them, have you heard the audio for the ST fairing, like from somebody else's bike?
I have. So my girlfriend Sunshine, she's a new rider, love it. And so she came to the house the other day, and she has a lowrider ST, and I could hear her rolling up, and I was like, dang it, she's got speakers on hers. So she rolled up, and I was like, girl, I'm so jealous. Like, you have speakers. And because I'm half deaf, I talk loud, I'm deaf, and I always wear a helmet. Now listen, I don't wear it for safety, I wear it for vanity, because I pay too much money a month for these eyelashes to be flapping in the wind. And so I have my speakers in my ear, and I'm like, I'm already deaf as it is, and I already talk so loud, and now I have all of this like loud music in my ear. I would love to have speakers so that I don't have that in my ear, but here we are. I need to be famous so I can be sponsored for some speakers, because I'm not. I got money on traveling. I can't put it in the bike yet. So.
Well, they're definitely worth it.
Tell her how you feel about it.
I know.
Are you running a Cardo or Senna for the end helmet?
I have the Senna. I love it.
She had speakers on there before the ST fairing, but they weren't great at highway speeds, and we have Cardos. Yeah. And so she would just wear the Cardo and use that in a similar situation. But how much do you use the Cardo now that you have speakers, babe, for audio?
None, unless we're riding where you know it's going to rain. And so now I just keep my full face with that in the trunk, so I have it. But with those new speakers, like, I can hear it when I'm going down the highway and it's really windy. And so
Tiffany Renee popped in here and said good evening. I'm going to give her a shout out. It's another one of the creators that I got to meet at some Harley events and stuff. So, hey, Tiffany, thanks for joining us. And Live Love Ride Eats here. Chasing Adventures has a channel. Jay Sorsby has a channel. XAN has a channel. So we got a lot of friends that are content creators too that like to come out and support our show and stuff. So.
Speaking of which, so Steve, you do a lot of stuff on Facebook. Have you ever thought about doing anything on YouTube, or would that be something?
I mean, not on YouTube. So I have a huge following on TikTok by accident. I had one video that went stupid viral. I'm at 30 million views, 4.5 million likes. And I had like 1,100 followers, and because of that, it jumped me to like 33,000 followers or something like that. Cena, kick her out of the live. Hurtful. What do you suggest, Jay? Anyway, so then I was like, okay, well, let me try to make some money off that. And I do work comp for a living, and I have a lot of funny stories. So I've been doing some stuff with that, and I travel all the time. So I've been doing stuff with that, but I'm like, I joke that I want to be famous, but I already get people that come up to like, Stevie, how are you? I'm like, hey, girl, I don't know who you are, but hi. So I don't know if I really want to be famous because I don't know who everybody is. But so yeah, I do TikTok. That's it. I've never done like a YouTube. I always joke, like, give me my own TV show because you give me a platform and I'm going to open my big mouth and talk. And I can talk all damn day. Like, I don't know a stranger, but yeah,
Well,
just TikTok
they're
for
giving
now.
they're
So if you want to go
they're
follow
giving.
me on TikTok,
Well, yeah, we could if you could send if Steve's got your link or send it to Steve, we'll throw it in the chat for anybody that does TikTok.
okay.
Tiffany Renee asked if you had
or her
Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah, if you have Instagram or
My
whatever you have.
Instagram is Lowrider. It's private, but if you like send me a message and say, hey, I do this, because listen, I don't want no crazy claimant trying to find me and like stalk me. But it's Lowrider ST and then underscore EVI. See what I did there? Lowrider ST Stevie. Pretty smart. When we were in our Sturgis trip, my brother's like, you need a motorcycle handle for your Instagram. And so we came up with that. So I thought it's pretty cute, but
Well, the reason they're giving you a hard time about the Senna is most of us are Cardo, and I'm a Cardo brand ambassador. If you want a Cardo, I know a guy. Will convert you.
Do you know, don't kick me out of the live. I've never heard of Cardo. I know what's the one that starts with an L? Lexin and Cena. I have not heard of Cardo. I'm so sorry. Can I still hang out? I promise I'm really cool.
Cardo and Senna are probably the big two. Yeah. And Cardo has, as of last year, 2024, used to be the Harley Davidson branded headsets that integrate with their bikes were from Senna, and now as of 2024, they're with Cardo and stuff. So Cardo's actually working hard to kind of embrace the cruiser market more and stuff. So yeah. Do you do bike content on TikTok, or do you just do like your taco stuff or whatever?
No, I do. I have a few bike things on TikTok. I mainly do like fashions and get ready with me stories and travel. I probably should do better at the bike stuff on TikTok, but I don't know. I need to build my platform better or whatever. I'm not good at it. Just give me a camera and let me talk. But to like be creative and put videos together, I'm terrible at it. Like just let me run my mouth and talk. I'm better at that.
I told Mike, I said, hey, if we get her on there, all we're gonna do is just show up. And she'll just
yeah, listen, I came out the womb talking, okay? It's just been my thing. Here I've been grown since I've been 2. Here we are.
Yeah, I think
are you guys gonna be at the homecoming Harley event up in Milwaukee?
Firecracker and I will be. We are on the content creators list for Harley Davidson. So we'll be at the content creators meet and greet on Friday afternoon at 4 to 6 or 5 to 7 or whatever that is. And we're going to get there on Thursday because Buck Cherry's playing at the museum on Thursday night, and I'm not missing that. And then, of course, we'll be at the other concerts and stuff. We've never been, so we don't know exactly what all we're going to do, but we're going to try and make the most of the trip, see the museum, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So we should link up. So my girlfriend, actually, give a plug to her, Amanda. She works for Harley Corporate, and she is like on the design team. So I know she had like a hand in doing the new Sportster Nightster and all that. So it's her 40th birthday. So I'm doing my first solo trip to Milwaukee for that. I'm gonna do it by myself. Want to ride with me? I was like, nope, this is on my bucket list. I'm gonna go. So my mom and grandma are like, I forbid it. And I'm like, I'm 42. You can't forbid it, but it's fine. So anyway, so we're gonna do that and then go to Christmas Saturday and stuff. So I'm pretty excited. So we'll have to link up while we're there.
Okay. Well, yeah. I think one of us will follow you so we can get you on Instagram.
I already requested. But she's got Tiffany Renee that requested to follow her. I think Chase is going to. Yeah. I put her thing in the chat for her Instagram.
Yep. Great. And Tiffany Renee will be at the content creators thing at Milwaukee too.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, you'll see lots of Taco Tuesday posts and stuff.
Yeah. I think I've heard you say it a number of times. I mean, both of us can blab with the best of them, but we're also both open books. I mean, I'll literally tell somebody, a stranger, my deepest secrets within 5 seconds, and I know you're the same way.
Yeah. I am an
So,
Oga book. Good, bad, ugly, whatever. Listen, you'll always know what I'm thinking. Like,
Yeah.
so XAN
there's
asked
no
about your
hiding anything
handle
with
for Instagram. So I'm going to put that
I
back
put
up
it
on the
in
screen.
there.
I know I'm putting it back on the
Okay.
screen for everybody. It's lowrider ST_EVI. So for anybody that didn't get that, go give her a
Yep.
follow. Check out tacos. Everybody loves tacos. If you don't love tacos, we can't be friends. And Jay said if anybody needs a Cardo, you can use the code RITO or JS10
it's
on cardo.com to get it to save 15%. At least with my code.
What a good guy.
I know we're sporting our Cardo brand
all
here because we're
right.
ambassadors. But I've never had a Santa. I don't have anything against them. I just was curious if what you used or what you tried and stuff.
Something else I wanted to make sure that we
Yeah.
touched
I mean,
base.
they're not bad.
I was just going to say that something else that I wanted to touch on
Go ahead.
was me, Mike, and April. We love to travel with our Harleys, and I know you do too. I was hoping that maybe we could share some of the things that you've done. I know that, like, you've met Adam Sandoval, you've been to K River Campground. Thought maybe you could kind of share some of your stories about that.
Yeah. So, and again, I give credit to my brother. He kind of started that, but he's always embedded in my brain. My bike does not ever belong on a trailer unless it's broke. So we ride everywhere. Rain, snow, whatever, we're riding. So I think my very first trip was probably like 30 days in, and I went to Bike Fest down at the Ozarks. And I was ran off the road by like a little old couple. So that was real fun. 30 days in, I kept it up and I was like, but no, so we did the K River Campground. That was awesome to get to see all those guys that do the Fast Life garage. And I met Adam Sandoval. Actually, his post from that year, I was like, the very first picture, and I was like, I'll be signing autographs later. And then what's funny is I was like randomly, because we follow each other on Facebook now, or I'm sorry, on Instagram, and I randomly saw him at a gas station somewhere in Iowa. I was in my car traveling with my grandma, so like I wasn't even on the bike, and I saw all the bikes, and so I was like looking out for everybody, and I was like, hey, what's up? And then I saw Adam, and I was like, I don't know if you remember me. He's like, yeah, Stevie, what's up? And I was like, oh, I feel kind of special. So that was kind of cool. But no, so K River, and then we did North Carolina. That was my first like really, really big trip. We went and did the Tail of Dragon, which was cool, but my favorite was the Cheraholic Skyway. Those big, like sweeping curves, you can really hit it. So normally it's shaved off at an angle because I was just hitting those corners hard. It's awesome. So we did all that, but then last year was one of my favorites. We went to Sturgis, which honestly, I don't care if I ever go back to Sturgis again. I'm just being honest. There's too many people, too many just like, hell yeah, brother, that just want to sit there in your way. I hit on the just get out of my way. I just wanted him to move out of my way, and everybody wanted to stop and take pictures. And I was just like, back to Sturgis again, because there's just too many people. But after Sturgis, me, my brother, and my sister-in-law and we did like 11 states in 11 days, like almost 5,000 miles. And we went through Wyoming, Idaho, Montana. We did, what's it called in Montana? Chieftain Highway or whatever. And then Beartooth Pass
Yeah.
Chief Joseph Highway. And what's the other one in Montana? Is it Beartooth Pass?
Beartooth Path. Yeah. Yeah. They basically connect together. Yeah. Because I did it the year before you guys did. Oh, she's breaking up on us.
Yeah. It was awesome. Am I breaking up? Sorry. I have full bars. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, so we did that. sorry guys. I thought I was somewhere with service. So we did that, and then we went down into like Idaho and then Utah. We went to the Bonneville Salt Flats and actually met some really cool dudes. Actually, here's a funny story. So there's a local bar and grill in Bonner called Kobe's. So if you're ever in Bonner, it's a biker bar. It's cheap drinks. It's a cool place. They have live music. They have bike nights, stuff like that. But I met these old guys that were sitting outside and they were waiting on an Uber. And I was like, oh, where are you guys from? Like, well, we're from Miami, but we're headed to Utah. We're going to the Bonneville Salt Flats. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be there next week. And they're like, we're racing our cars. So, when they do those races in the, the flat line or whatever, they were there. And I said, dude, we'll come watch you race. Well, sadly, we didn't get to watch them race, but we got to like go and hang out with them and take pictures. And they won. They beat the land record for speed or whatever. I mean, what a like random encounter, that we did. But we went and saw that. It was awesome. We went to, oh, dude, it was awesome. They were 85 and 86-year-old men, and they won. I'm like, you guys are like life goals. It was so cool. And then we did, on the what's that movie? Forrest Gump, where he's like, I'm tired now. I think I want to go home. Monument Valley in Arizona. Rode out there, and it was just amazing. All over Colorado. There's no better feeling than like taking your bike and just running for hours and thousands of miles. It's tiring, but it's worth it. Like, we had a blast. And when we go, like, we put, there was one day we put like 780 miles on in a day, and it's just awesome, so good times. Sorry if I'm moving. Listen, I'm an open book. I have to potty so bad. So I'm like doing the potty dance in my chair.
Go
Sorry,
do
guys.
it.
I'm not.
Go do it. We'll keep chatting.
Are you sure? I don't want to leave you guys. I'm like, my bladder quit growing at birth. I swear. It's ridiculous.
We can fill the gap.
Go take care of your business. Come back.
Okay. You guys go fill the gap. I'm going to go potty real quick, and then I'll be back. BRB.
All right.
So, Mike, was my description of her fairly accurate? She's a ball of fire, isn't she?
Yes. And like you said, she can talk about anything for hours.
Oh, my God. Yeah. We have a good time.
Jay said pee break. So everybody that needs to take a pee, now's your time.
Don't
sign out.
We'll
let Steve talk about nonsense. Actually, we'll talk about Eats Meets West a little bit. And so I got to run down there on Friday night and check it out. They had 12 o'clock shop doing stunts there on Friday night. V-Twin Visionary was there. On Saturday, they had a bike show with a like ride-in bike show. And then they had like V-Twin Visionaries bike show. And they had like 5 trophies. And their trophies weren't like, chopper and, first, second, and third. It was best of show, who rode the longest, best performance bagger or something like that, best diner or something. But it was still cool. There was a lot of cool bikes. And one thing that was kind of cool, I mean, it's a couple hundred people, but people came from all over the country. One gal got an award for the furthest, longest rider, and she came from LA on a Sportster. And she had shit falling off of her bike all throughout her journey and stuff. And she's just like winging it and trying to get there. And Loudmouth Devin from the Fast Life podcast and stuff, like she got a hold of him and he got a hold of somebody that could go help her. And it's really cool to see the community come together and stuff. But it was a cool event. The guy that won best bike in the show was from Florida. There were guys that came from New York and all over and stuff. But it was still, 250, 300 bikes or something. It wasn't some huge event, but it wasn't just a bunch of locals that came out. People rode thousands of miles to go to that event.
Yeah, that was in Joplin, Missouri, right?
Yeah.
It looked like it was awesome.
It was a good time. Speed Dealer and V-Twin Visionary and, of course, Harley Davidson and Rockford Fosgate were kind of the sponsors of the event and stuff. It was definitely a good time. Some really cool bikes. They didn't do food trucks because they wanted the local community restaurants and stuff to be able to make some money from this event being there and stuff. And 12 o'clock shop did stunts on Saturday and everything else.
And if you need anything at Speed Dealer, go see Megan. That's my girl. She's awesome. Like, she's the best. Like, literally go see Megan at Speed Dealer. Shout out to her. I love her. She's such a cool chick.
I didn't really
Okay.
meet her. I talked to Frank a lot from Speed Dealer.
Yeah.
She was busy trying to manage the event, and
Yeah.
Frank from Speed Dealer gave me a tour of his new facility, House of Speed. So it's not quite finished yet. They'll probably be finished after Sturgis because he's got some bikes to build for Sturgis. But it's a really old historic building from late 1800s, and they're going to, they're restoring it with like the original kind of tile ceiling stuff and lights in there, and really trying to
Yeah.
keep it historic to that. And he's going to be building
Okay.
bikes in it and selling retail out of there and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. Okay, I have to say a real quick comment because Chasing Adventures quickest women pee ever. Okay, listen, you have to hear what just happened. So I go to Taco Tuesday every Tuesday with my guy best friends, right? And they roast me 24/7. So as you can see, I'm in red overalls today. They called me the Kool-Aid man when I showed up. And funny story, that is what I want. That is what I flavor my water with, right? The Kool-Aid man. So I ran in and they were like, here comes the Kool-Aid man. I'm like, you guys are such jerks. I got to pee and I'm on Facebook or I'm on YouTube Live. So I ran in like the Kool-Aid man. So yeah, I went really, really fast. I earned my Kool-Aid name because I ran in. I was like, bye guys, I got to go to the bathroom. I got to be back out there. Ran out. So anyways.
So Ken said that they need a trophy for the best looking mustache at the bike show. I'm wrong kind of show, Ken, but okay, I know why you want that, Mister.
Yes, yeah, he's got a hell of a mustache on him.
Skids did ask a question, and not to sidetrack the thing, but I will address this real quick since he asked. HD's doing another release this year, maybe a revised Road King. Just curious about my thoughts. My thoughts are if they bring out another bike at Homecoming, and I'm going to try and get a video out before Homecoming, I don't think it'll be a Road King. I think it would be a Road Glide Ultra since they did the Street Glide Ultra. I think the Street Glide Ultra was a test. They sell an Ultra package for the Road Glide, and I think they were trying to gauge what sells better, a package or a bike that's already fitted. But also, they have to have enough inventory. They've had problems like when the ST first came out. They would only sell the speakers to people that had an ST because they didn't have enough to go around. And so until they build up inventory. So the Ultra may have been a test, but not like that way. Only people who really wanted to order the kit got them so they could build up inventory to maybe come out with a Road Glide Ultra production with it all fitted on. That would be the bike I would see them maybe still coming out with this year.
I love a good Road King though. My boyfriend, he's new to riding. Well, he rode a little bit a while back, but when we first started dating, I was like, you got to ride. Like, I really, really like to ride. And so he got a Road King, and man, that thing, I love it. We're doing modifications to it, and he's going to put some T-bars on it because, of course, Danny, my brother, it's all about the T-bars, and I love them. I love T-bars. So we're going to make it. I'm like, ooh, can we cello it out a little bit? Like, I'm excited. So Road Kings are, man, those are badass bikes.
That was my first Harley, was an 05 Road King, and God, I hated to sell it, but I didn't need 3 motorcycles.
Well, and I wonder if
we do not need that negativity here, Bates.
Yeah, don't be talking shit like that.
No, listen. You have all the bikes in the world, buddy. Don't sell yourself short.
Thanks.
So yeah, Skids mentioned HC doesn't love the Road King anymore because they've canceled the classic style Road King and only have the special. I do think that it's going to be like the Breakout, where hopefully they'll bring it back out for a few years, maybe give it a break, do some redesign, then bring it back out. The question will be, will they do the full radiator and water-cooled heads like they're doing on the Road Glide and Street Glide, or will they do the heads like they're doing on the Softails that are oil-cooled? Because all the new Softails in 2025 are, instead of running water through the heads, they're just running oil through them to cool them and improving the cooling, but without having the radiator and the fan for it and all that. So maybe we're going to get like a Road King that's kind of classic looking still, not a big radiator on it, not a reservoir on the side and things like that. Because it's harder to hide that on a Road King than like, the Street Glide or the Road Glide. So, those are some thoughts I've had about what they might be up to.
I'll have to ask my girlfriend, see if she's got any insight for me, little insider scoop.
Yeah, the comment they always tell me is we can't talk about future products, lack of or confirm. But
I won't say much because I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but I've seen things before anybody else. But I can't like take pictures, tell details, any of that. But it's kind of cool having a little in.
So this is kind of cool because Stevie, you have somebody on the inside that you can get inside information, and bless your heart
On occasion.
because you know, pinky swear you will not tell what you hear. But Michael up here is notorious for being pretty goddamn accurate on stuff that they're doing. He doesn't tell where he gets his stuff either, but he digs it up himself, and it's pretty impressive.
Most of the time, I just look at him like, that's so cool. And then I don't tell anybody because I don't want to get her in trouble. So I'm like, oh, that's so cool. You know, and then I just, it goes in one ear out the other.
So I've gotten to the point with Harley Davidson. I got information about what was going on with the brake system when they shut the factory down a few years ago, and dealers didn't even know what was going on. I confirmed with some dealers and had them look at some bikes because there were some parts on some bikes they didn't know that was on there that was a fix for the brake system problem. And so then I reached out to Harley and I'm like, okay, guys, video's coming out in 72 hours unless you can give me an official comment that I can incorporate into the video. But here's what I know. And that was like what they were surprised that anybody, they said nobody ever reaches out and gives us an opportunity to comment. Even though we couldn't comment for legal reasons, it kind of gave them a heads up. Hey, this is about to be out there. We need to figure out our response and how we're going to handle it and stuff. So now I just send them, like, if I'm getting ready to leak a picture, I send it to them and say, by the way, this is out there. Do you have any comment? They're like, thanks, no comment.
My good.
So here it comes.
Yeah. That's
so
awesome.
I have one more question for you, and probably the most important. I mean, as a female rider in Harley Davidson, I mean, is there any one thing that you could really say to a female out there that's on the fence that maybe thinks, hey, I've been a backseat for this amount of time but I'm a little nervous about trying to learn myself. Is there any kind of words of wisdom that you think you could share?
Do it. Listen, anything a man can do, a woman can probably do better. Okay. Do it. Like, just do it. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to start out small. Like I said, when I first started out, it took me 12 times to pass the little cone test. So don't accept failure. Just keep going. And know every biker, you're going to go down at one point or another. Every bike's going to be dropped, and don't be ashamed. When I first started, I dropped my bike so many times, and I still have close calls sometimes, right? Like, it just happens. But just do it. There's literally no better feeling and freedom than just getting on and going. And I have so many female riders that I hang out with. I told them all to listen. So my girlfriend Christina, Bobby Sue, my best friend Jennifer, she started way before I did. I just love it. And my best friend Denise just took the course. She's going to be looking at getting herself a bike. My sister-in-law. There's so many female riders out there. It's such a great community. And so we're all there. All of us support each other. All of us are there. My other friend Stephanie, I don't want to leave anybody out, but all my girlfriends, like, we literally are there. And if anybody is like, hey, Annalise, I don't want to leave her out either. But we're like, if you want to come and ride, and you want to go around the city block, and you want to go 5 miles an hour, 10 miles an hour, let's do it. You want to go to a parking lot, let's do it. You want to put your bike down and we'll teach you how to pick it up, let's do it. There's such a huge support system in the two-wheel community as it is, right? And there's a lot of men that are willing to help out women without any hidden agendas. But they're the women that are out there that are willing to help women. It's amazing. It's such an empowerment to just get out there and do it. So I would say go for it. Take the class 100%. I did learn a lot. Like I said, I thought I would be dodging a lot more mattresses in the roadways than I have. I've not seen one yet, knock on wood. But do it. Just do it. Literally, don't take your time. My biggest regret is I wish I would have done it years ago. I love it. I've never looked back. It's so much fun.
I always hear that, the size of the bike and the heaviness of the bike is a big concern, but I think once you get on the bike and you realize that it's not that hard to maneuver, kind of pushes
really
itself.
not. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's what this is what my brother told me, and I thought it was really good advice. Like when he's like, everybody says, woman, start out on a Sportster. Well, I didn't understand when I first started what a low center gravity bike and a high center gravity bike meant. I was like, I don't know what any of that means. And so when I did the school, the little test at Rawhide, they have you on what is it, iron 885s or whatever it is. Anyways, they're very high centered, and I constantly felt like I was going to dump it, pull over, because I'd never been on anything like that before. And I was like, God, this is not for me. Well, then I got on I had a Boulevard C, I don't even remember. Is it C? I don't know. Anyway, some Boulevard.
250, I
Um,
think.
I think it was C50. Yeah, I forget. But anyways, and it was low center. I was like, oh, okay, this what it means to have a low center gravity bike. Like I didn't feel like I was going to topple over. It's not real top heavy. So know the bike that you're getting. And when you hear a bike and you're like, oh, it's 500 pounds, 600 pounds, 800 pounds, you're like, oh my God, that's really, you're not really lifting 500, 600, 800 pounds. I mean, I'm a little thick. I'm not like strong, and I'm not a little twig, but I can lift a 700, 800 pound bike. It's not as bad as it seems. So I would say women, go for a soft tail. To me, those are like the best, I think, for a woman to start on. I love my Lowrider ST. It's way more powerful than you probably want to start out with, but I love it. And it's all about the bars. There's a lot of things that make a bike, that makes a difference on a bike. The bars, the type of engine, all of that. So just get someone that knows their bikes, and just have them work you through it. Reach out to me. I'm always down to help anybody. Like I will go ride with you in a parking lot. Like I love it, because there were people that did that for me, and so
Yeah.
it's all about the community and helping people out.
Well, we've helped a few ladies get comfortable before they went and took the course and stuff. I for a while had a little Rebel 250 people could learn on, which is similar to what the course was
Yeah.
taught on here and stuff. But women
Yeah.
riders are the most fastest growing demographic in the motorcycle community right now, and that's great. I mean, I have a friend who I like. Sometimes I say we need more bikers. We need a bigger voice to get to 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 not get rights taken away, because we pay attention a lot to the motorcycle rights, things against the
Mm-hmm.
combustion engine, laws
Yeah.
against this. Somebody proposed a law saying that like you can't ride kids that are minors as a passenger. Things like that come up and stuff. And the bigger our voice is, the more we can combat those kinds of things. But
Yeah.
but also he said not everybody needs to be a motorcyclist, and I agree with that too. It's not for everybody, and it is dangerous,
Right.
and you need to
Yeah.
understand those risks and that you'll go down. But um, you should try it, and if it's for you, then find your community. And
And
there's
yeah.
all kinds of different kinds of communities in the motorcycle communities. You've got guys that like to tour, you guys that like performance, you've got guys that just go to the local bar on Sunday afternoon once a week, and there's nothing wrong with that either. Not advocating to drive impaired, but I'm just saying, some guys want to travel the country, some guys don't. It takes all kinds, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Yep. Agree. We all make the community. It's just all getting out there, having fun, and enjoying the freedom of being on two wheels.
Do you have what would be a dream ride that you've now learned about that you haven't done yet? Do you have anything down the road that you're like, I got to do this? Or
So kind of. So my brother and sister-in-law and I are talking about maybe, I don't know that we could afford to send our bikes over, but renting bikes in Scotland and riding through Scotland. That would be awesome. I feel like I've obviously not hit every road in the US, but a lot of them, the bigger, areas and territories that are riding. But man, to go across the ocean and ride in like Ireland or Scotland, that would be awesome. So that's
yeah.
a big bucket item for me that I would love to do.
So Harley
And I
this
don't know. I'm
year,
going to be in Hawaii at the end of the year, and I might rent a motorcycle in Hawaii and put girls. So I might do that too. So we'll see.
yeah, I mean, it'd be one of those bucket list things you can do. I hear the riding is not great there, that like the island is small really, and there's a lot of traffic, but it's still something to check off the list.
Yeah, yeah,
Harley this year is doing their Rolling Thunder giveaway things where you go to the dealership and put in keywords and you can win stuff. And one of the trips this year is a trip to European Bike Week. So that would be really cool to win a trip paid for to go to European Bike
yeah,
Week, which is like their Daytona. you know, kind
Yeah.
of thing.
That would be amazing. My buddy Michael, he went to Daytona this week or this year, and he's like, I wanted to go, and he's trying to get. So I got all like the stunt shows and stuff he sent, or was it Panama? He's gonna kill me because I can't remember. I don't remember if it was Daytona. We went to Daytona too, I think. But anyways, that would be really cool to go to one of those. I haven't been to that yet, so that would be neat. I don't feel like the riding would be very good. That's more for the event. Like it's flat and hot.
So Firecracker,
So.
tell her your experience for Daytona, because we went last year and it was somewhere she wanted to go.
There was a bunch of non-riding idiots.
Mm-hmm.
And there was the only good riding we had was when we rode. I don't even remember what that was.
The loop.
The loop, and I mean that wasn't that long, but it did take you like riding along the ocean, which I enjoyed that. But other than that, and you have to worry about. It's like Sturgis. You got to worry about going and having fun, and then getting back to your place. But we didn't stay at a campground. Like this year at Sturgis is going to be our first year staying at a campground. So we can go ride all day and then go back to the campground and have fun with all of our friends and stuff. But that'll be a new experience for me. But it's not as much fun when you don't have all, you know, like usually when we travel, a lot of our trips, we got a bunch of friends with us. And for me, that's what I enjoy is being with my friends and riding. But you know, like when we went to Daytona, it was just me, him, and one of our guy friends, and Mike's busy doing his YouTube stuff. And so, you know, it was, you know, a lot about YouTube. So it kind of takes some time to get used to doing that. But
well, part of why it was about YouTube and stuff is because we flew in, and Harley Davis gave us motorcycles to ride all week. So we rode 4 or 5 different motorcycles in a week period. So I kind of felt like I need to give them a little love and talk about the different bikes and the events and stuff.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, he enjoys doing YouTube. I support him 100%. Yeah. But it's even better for me when we have our friends with us because I have people to talk to while he's doing all that and
doing all this.
You know, it has introduced us to a lot of people and a lot of great people, and you know, I enjoy that. But it's nice to be able to just go and ride. Like I want to take a trip where we just take off and we don't have plans and we just take off, ride. We find a motel, stay. I want to go to Colorado and ride and stuff like that. So maybe one of these days.
That's the best. You know, so I'm kind of the opinion. I'm like, I don't really like the rallies, like the big rally. I mean, it's cool. You get to see all the vendors and stuff, and you get to meet people and all the things, but you get more of the crowd that doesn't really ride. They're just there for the show, and so they can't ride and they get in the way. And I'm like, move, Ludicrous, move, bitch, get out of the way. It goes through my head during that. So you know, like I would just rather like go when it's not a rally and go with my friends. And I don't want a big group. Like we did a big group, and I loved everybody. It was fun, but we had so much more fun when it was just me and my brother and my sister-in-law, because you don't have 4 or 5 different opinions on what we're going to do, where we're going to go, who's going to eat this. We just did it, and it was just fun, and it was really about the road. Like, and that's what I love. Like, it's just like, shoom, we go. And there's no better feeling. Like it's until someone's experienced it and done it, you don't know what kind of exhilaration that brings you. It's just fun. Like you just can't describe it. Yeah.
Probably one of the biggest frustrations I get is, you know, a lot of my friends don't ride, and they hear all the stories about how dangerous these bikers are, outlaw bikers and all this stuff. And it's frustrating because you try to explain to them, hey, all that shit you're listening to on TV and the news, that's 1% of the biker community.
Yeah.
You know, we're seeing, you know, shit, I'll be riding down a country highway and there'll be an old farm truck half stuck into the ground and the other half sticking up out of the ground. And you're like, you know, I'm so glad that I'm getting to see these crazy, weird things on these old highways, and everybody else is missing out because they're in a goddamn hurry and they're on I-70.
Yeah.
You're on an interstate. And yeah, that's the thing I love probably the most.
Yeah. You just get to see so many cool things. And like, if I'm in my car, I want the highway. But if I'm on the bike, I want to be on back roads. I want to be on country roads. Like I want to just ride. And that's what we do. I love it. So we didn't talk about a lot, but I don't know if when you guys were going to the bathroom, I heard something about a long ride or whatever, but my dad did the Hoka Hay challenge and he actually did it. And I'm like, how cool would that be? So that might be on my bucket list at some point, but you can't use GPS and I'm terrible at directions. Even though my riding name is Dora because I'm short Mexican and I travel everywhere, I'm directionally challenged. Like it's not good. So I don't know that I would be good at it, but it'd be kind of fun, like just to say like, hey, I did this. There's not a lot of people that can do that, but just to be able to like get on the roads and have as many miles as you can between you and the next stop, it's just awesome. It's
Well,
awesome.
challenging yourself is the thing, like you're talking about, and like
Yeah.
Firecracker rides a Softail. Its Sport Glide is similar to the Lowrider ST. It's got smaller wheels and it's a little shorter seat height than the Lowrider ST, but otherwise it's inverted front forks, a lot of the same clamshell bags and stuff. And they don't make it
Yep.
anymore, but she's done 700 miles on that bike going to Sturgis with us. While I'm doing it on a bagger, she's doing it on a Softail and stuff. But she's
Yep.
thinking this year she wants to do and not for a patch or for recognition, just for herself. She wants to do a 1K in a day to maybe coming back from Sturgis,
Yeah. Yeah.
just to
Yeah.
prove
I
to
wanted.
herself she can do it.
Yep. Yep. I got close one day and I was like, oh, I should have, but I was so tired. So, girl, I'm right there with you. I want to do that. I haven't done it yet. I want to do it. That would be awesome.
Right. And
Yeah,
some of these things they're not about bragging rights. I mean, it's if you want to patch, that's fine. There's nothing
Mm-mm.
wrong with that. But there's nothing wrong with
Mm-mm.
doing it for
Personal
yourself.
accomplishment.
Right. Just for you to know you can do it.
yeah, I did it on my
Yep.
way back from Sturgis in 2019. I got back to Kansas City, and I thought, hey, if I run down to Emporium a little further and come back, that'd be 1,000. And I'm glad I did it. I didn't get the receipts at the gas stations, and I just did it for myself,
Yeah.
and so I can say I did
Yep.
it.
Yeah, we have a
Yep.
professional iron ass in the crowd. He likes to, like, he did an iron butt in December, or January.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
Uh-uh.
I think he went south and he started in Arkansas. Chase did, but Chasing
Uh,
Adventure rides a BMW R18 bagger, and he likes to do 1Ks and stuff. So
No, I don't have heated gear. I had nothing. We went to Branson in March one time and we rode all the way to Branson from Kansas City. So it was at 4 hours and it was in the dark and 34 degrees. And I was like, yeah,
Mm.
no, this is not fun. And I did not have heated gear. It was there was like at one point I couldn't like switch, that like I couldn't pull the clutch in and all the things. I was like, I can't feel my fingers. It was terrible.
I,
Zero
I'm
out of 10 stars.
I've been riding for 40 years almost, and I've never had it heated. The last few years I've tried some different heated gear, and some of it's just for YouTube to review it, to be able to talk
Yeah.
about it. I don't think you should talk about, like I can't say, oh, batteries are better than plug-in or not if I don't try it. So I've done
Yeah.
some battery powered gear like gloves, because that was more affordable to get started on. This year I got some heated gear that plugs into the bike because my 24 has plugs for it. Firecrackers I got some for her, and I mean, it definitely makes traveling in December much more enjoyable. We do a Frosty Balls ride on January 1st, and it raises money for charity. And the rule is you
Nice.
ride at least 1 mile for every degree above zero. So if it's freezing out, you're going to
Ooh.
ride 16 miles one way and then turn around and go home. But we usually end up riding
Yeah.
anywhere from 40 to 75 miles on that day.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
Steve, you got to tell us about your little ride that you do in the winter with your little suits on.
Oh, well, it's not my ride. I have to give props to my brother, but he
Yeah.
does a onesie ride. So well, usually it's like November. We all put on onesies. So like one year I had a tiger. One year I had a pig with a tutu. I was like, when pigs can fly, because I'm a little chunky and I'm like flying through the streets. And then I can't remember what else we did. So now I dress as Mrs. Claus. So my helmet, I have one of those like, things that go over your helmet. It looked like Santa, and I had a Santa suit on. And then my buddy Daniel Best, he dressed as Santa, and so we just ride. So it's such a fun thing. There's probably anywhere from gosh, I don't know. I missed it this last year because I had shoulder surgery, but it's anywhere from 50 people join, and we're all in onesies. And to see like everybody's reaction on the street, they'll like look, and all the kids are so excited. It's so much fun. So we'll have to let you guys know when it is, but it's going to be sometime in November. That's when he always does it. But it's a onesie ride, and it's just awesome. It's a good time.
We do
It's a real good time.
a toy run on the first Sunday in November. It's a
Mm.
memorial toy run, but I mean where we live, 50 bikes in a group's a pretty big group, and this toy run is usually 250 to 300 riders on the first weekend in
Wow.
November. Show up in a town that's probably a couple thousand people, and we ride like
Yeah.
35 miles to another town, and all the money goes to benefits the children's like boys and girls clubs kind of thing, and those communities and stuff. But all the locals, if the weather is good, they're sitting out in their lawn chair in the yard. People at the
Waiting.
nursing home are out there waving at us and everything else and stuff. And
Yeah.
it's a good feeling, you know, to see other people excited about what we're doing for their community and stuff.
Yeah. Well, and it just takes away again that like Steve was talking about earlier, you know, the biker culture and how it takes away that stigma. Like we're just normal people that like to be on two wheels, like, you know. So it's fun, and it's a way to involve the community. My brother doesn't do it for any reason, although he probably should make it like a toy run or something. So maybe I'll talk to him about that. It's just
Maybe
one day
or
he
make
started it. He's got
Yeah, make a
Huh?
and you don't even have to make it official. Like we did a ride one summer, and it started in Licking, Missouri, and went to Uranus. So we called it the Licking Uranus ride, and we asked everybody to like donate $10, and we mailed all the money off to like prostate cancer fund. But I made
Nice.
little poker chips. Poker chips
Nice.
cost $1 to have them made, and so I said, if you donate, I'll give you a chip. And so people would donate $10 or
Poker chips.
$20
I love
just to
it.
get a $1 chip, and then all the money went to that. And so, like I said, you can make it a toy
Yeah.
run, or you can make it for whatever. But
Yeah.
if you do something kind of fun like that, like
Yeah.
you give them something. I mean, poker chips are $1 or $2. If you made 50
Yeah.
of them, you say the first 50 people that donate get one of these. It gives them something to remember the event by. You know, something for
Yeah,
them to
that's kinda
talk
cool.
about to someone else, that kind of thing. So there's
Yeah.
ways of doing it without making it like, oh, you got to sign a waiver and you got to do this and that, and making it too formal, but still have a good time and do something kind of good with it,
Yeah. Yeah. I see. Is it Ian Biker or whatever had a Tigger tattoo? He said I used to have one too, but I just covered it up. That thing was old, and it was supposed to be for my son, and it said little J underneath it, but it looked like Lily. So everybody asked me, "Who's Lily?" I'm like, so I got rid of it. I'm in the middle of, so my arms are sleeved, and I'm sleeving out my leg, and so it's at the bottom. So it's gone. But I had a Tigger tattoo
Yeah.
up until
But we don't
maybe
want
2 months ago.
XAN to show us where. You never can tell with them. It's
Yeah.
XAN. XAN is a religious thing. Yeah, Christian thing.
Christian.
So
Oh, I love
so
that.
Yeah.
So
Great guy.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love Jesus. I'm like, listen, I may cuss a little, but I love Jesus. I go to church every Sunday. So my dad used to be in a Christian biker club. So
well, there's nothing wrong with that, but that's what
Nope.
a lot of people don't know who he is or what. We've met him several times. We've shared a house with him at an event. He's gone to
nice.
Cycle Showcase with us, and then we went out and had to repent the next day after leaving Cycle Showcase and hanging out on East St. Louis all night.
Oh,
But we've had some good times.
Yeah.
He was there to
yeah.
make sure we had some Jesus in us the next day.
Yeah.
Listen, I always say everybody needs a little Jesus in them. Jesus, watch out for the faithful and the stupid. I don't know what category I fall under, but I will gladly take whichever one. So
Yeah, Christian on a Harley. That's our friend Jamie. I live in Texas County, where the men are men and the animals are afraid.
That's right.
That's where licking's at. When I was in
there you
high
go.
school, we used to make the joke about licking. It's like 35 miles from us. We're like, oh, did you hear they're putting in a university? Yeah, they're going to call it Licking You. No.
Well, hey, Stevie, I know you got to get home. We really appreciate you coming on tonight. I hope you had a good time.
This was fun. I did. Thank you for inviting me. It was so much fun.
Absolutely. And hopefully people will meet you out on the highway and they can say hi to you because I know you'd love that.
Yeah, for sure. If anybody's gonna be at Harley, the homecoming, hit me up. If you're in Kansas City, hit me up. Yeah, and I'll go through and approve everybody that followed me from here. So you'll get it's not all motorcycle stuff. So just you'll get travels and outfits and tacos. It's pretty much, and my dogs.
Yeah, Lone Cowboy Adventures. Ken is from Kansas City, so
Yep.
he's a local
Oh,
up in that
nice.
area and stuff.
Yep.
So he
I
might
see his
hit you
picture.
up.
I see his picture. I can tell that's a picture from Joel at Worth. Our buddy
Yep.
Joel Overstreet. He's amazing. He takes all the best photos at Worth. If you ever come to a bike night at Worth Harley Davidson in Kansas City, make sure you pose when you first come in because Joel's going to take a picture. So
make sure you wave.
Yep. I always do the kiss or what,
Me too.
Well, we appreciate you coming on.
My helmet's on. I'm smiling. My helmet's on. They can't tell that I'm smiling, but I'm smiling for the camera anyway.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, we appreciate you coming on, and we'll try and holler at you for homecoming. If your friend, I mean, if she works for Harley, she'll know all about the schedule and stuff. But we'll definitely be at the Content Creators Meet and Greet, and Jeff from V Twin Visionary is going to be there. He was at the meetup and stuff. So, and then a bunch, Tiffany Renee, who was in the chats, a female writer, she'll be there, and several others. They've got a big list this year. Like, there's 30 or 40 people that are going to be there in the content corner.
Add me to the list. I'll come join the party.
Well, you just come hang out with us. It's open to the public, to come meet people. Perfect. But I don't get to pick who Harley Davidson endorses for it.
I know. Listen, I got an in.
You got an in. We'll figure it out. You got an in. Tell her that she needs to send some of your best videos to a guy named Matt. She'll know who it is.
Okay, yes, I will do that. Yeah. All right.
Well, safe travels.
Thank you guys for having me.
Okay. Safe travels from Strawberry Hill.
Yes, the best place. Listen, if you're ever in KCK, Kansas City, Kansas, it's the taco mecca of the world. Come get tacos here; they're amazing.
Yep.
We come to Kansas City. You can tell us. You can show us where to get tacos at.
I sure can. Bates will call me and just randomly, okay, now where do I go for the best whatever? Because I know we literally have done Taco Tuesday every Tuesday. We miss here or there for about 5 years, and we'd never go to the same place on a Tuesday. That's how many taco places we have, and we review them on Facebook. It's just our friends. It's nothing official, but I'm like, yay, nay, or may, and here's why. So it's kind of become a thing everybody looks forward to every week. So all right, guys, well, take care. Have a good night.
See ya.
Good night.
See ya.
Bye.
All right, guys. I think we're good. We've gone over an hour. I hope everybody enjoyed meeting Stevie and stuff. And we may try and do more biker-related guests and stuff in the future. Stevie's just somebody that Bates knew that he thought would be a good fit, good personality and stuff, and give everybody a chance to know her. And we do want to support the female rider aspect of the community and stuff. But we might have somebody from the industry or that owns a shop or builds bikes or whatever. But we're going to be looking to put more guests on that will be not just our friends, but also maybe people or other content creators. But not all of them are going to be content creators. I know I talked to Red from a biker's garage, and he said he'd be happy to come on sometime. So we're going to try and get him on pretty soon. And we'll talk to them. And then we'll also still do lives on events and things like that. So. All right. Everybody good? Good night.
It's been a good one.
Stay safe. Keep on riding. We'll see you in the next one.